Hi, all. Uh, what's going on in Venezuela? Show of hands. Is it this? This? Like, what even is this? And who am I? And what is with all these questions anyway? Uh, well, my name is Ana Lozada. I'm a Venezuelan illustrator, a storyteller, the author of Failed State. And despite being from Venezuela and my family living in and out of it for about 3 generations, give or take, even I don't know what's going on in Venezuela. Not completely. But I can tell you this. We have no food, no medicine. The government does not give health care to people who aren't their followers. Um, you know, average wage is $3 a month, somehow. And, our current president, who is a former bus driver, thinks he can, one, talk to birds, and two, those birds are visiting him because they are the reincarnations of our former president, Hugo Chavez, and they come to him to give advice, on presiding, supposedly. And, I bet this is all news to you. It took me a while to gather all of this information. And, who can blame us, right? After all, the media only follows a story if someone is tweeting about it, whether that's, an accurate representation of the events or not. And otherwise, it's an onslaught of politicians' names and horrifying pictures. Example, this one. But who is that boy? What's he doing? Where is he? How can we relate to him? Asking myself these questions, I decided to write Failed State, and I thought that I would be the person to do it because I have been on both sides of the experience. I'm from a country where incomprehensible, weird stuff just happens all the time, and the media just misrepresents all of our issues. And I also had a friend in high school, one of my best friends, who was a Syrian girl, and right as conflict was beginning in her area, she happened to be moving back to Damascus. And despite knowing her personally and being worried and caring for her, what's going on in Syria is beyond me. Whatever goes on in the news cycle isn't really telling me. So, Failed State is a fictional narrative journal with sketches told from the point of view of a girl who was trying to improve her society by studying economics, trying to figure out the source of income inequality, the, reasons why there's infrastructural collapse. But without realizing it, she was delivering understanding through her journal, through these intimate memories of going around with her friends, sketching, seeing cool sights, eating a few local foods, being anxious at a party and getting strange compliments from an odd classmate, and seeing a very dear friend struggle to make ends meet, trying her best to help him, but not being able to sustain him all on her own and she tried because, he's family. She loves him. These are real moments. These are things that people can relate to, things that we don't really see in the news. In addition to that, as you can see, this is a very natural medium. I believe that sketch journals and other improvised art forms are, sort of underestimated in their narrative potential. They are immediate, they are intimate and sincere. The entries sort of give a rhythm to the reader, connects them to the author. And also, you know, we can see these little quirks like post-it notes, sketches, scratches, things that allow us to see what the character is feeling viscerally on a page. I honestly have not found a medium more intimate than a sketch journal. And so I set out to write Failed State because, you know, even though I love facts and logic and we need the news to just report on things, they are somehow unable to really communicate what the experience of going through something like this is. I wrote Failed State to show Venezuela's ugly side, its beautiful side, and its human side, which is why I believe that narrative journal is the right way to deliver a repulsive piece of reality and turn it into inviting fiction. Thank you.
What's the structure of it? I see one day is 1998. Does it go for a certain time period? Like, is there a beginning and end?
Correct. So I believe the problems in my country started in 1998, just about, maybe even before that, to be honest. But the book itself starts in 1998 and continues on to present day. And I thought this was important because it's one, sort of my experience, and I wanted to write from a place that, you know, felt confident and I knew what was going on, as well as sort of trying to cover all of the little steps that the country took to get to its current ruined state. Dan?
I love your medium and your approach. How much of your story was plotted and scripted and outlined, and how much was free form, just letting your sketchbook talk to you?
That's a good question. So the outline itself was really, really important to sort of figure out, you know, which events would be important and how to blend them together with Daya's personal story. But when I got to the scripting and thumbnailing stage, everything fell apart, and I made a very unsuccessful first draft. So what ended up happening was I scrapped it and started over from scratch without thumbnails or a solid script. I journaled every day for myself and sort of tried to reference that journal and my reactions to my surroundings and put those in the book. For example, I found out that when I sketch a lot of scenery, I'm actually kind of disengaged and don't want to interact with my surroundings. But if I was very engaged, I would just be in the experience and then write about it later. And so that would be lots of writing in pages. And that's pretty much how this got formed. Pilar? I think it's 72 plus a lot of little notes, letters, other objects. I couldn't believe that it was 72 pages, but it kind of is. Christine?
Are there journalists in Venezuela who you think have done a better job of reporting on the situation there on the ground as opposed to foreign journalists?
Well, there would be, but they're in jail for one thing. One person I think is doing a great job. She's a comedian named Joanna Hausman, and I know her name doesn't sound Latin American, but she's Venezuelan Jewish with red hair. And she has done a couple pieces for the New York Times, and they have been very informative and pretty accurate, also quite funny. So check her out. Marissa.
It's absolutely gorgeous. I want to know the next steps.
Right. So the next step is to not do anything about it after I try to get it published and all that, and write a book about lesbians doing fencing. And, you know, once that's over, I want to write 2 more books because I don't think that I can cover everything about the Venezuelan crisis in one book. There are characters in Failed State that I think deserve their own journals. They will not be sketch journals. They will be a different format. One of them will be sort of a little comics journal, and the other one will be a photo journal with some music. That's it.